Hi everyone and welcome to Web Piano Academy. In today's video, I'm going to uncover a few truths about the very famous Hanon exercises, and I'm going to show you step-by-step tips and tricks on how you can train your fingers not only while using the Hanon, but also while using any type of exercises with 16 notes or any kind of passages in any kind of pieces. This is how I personally practice and how I ask my students to practice. My name is Antonella Di Giulio and I am a classical pianist and music theorist. In this video, I'm going to show you how to improve drastically the way you play fast sequences of notes with or without Hanon. For more than a century, many piano students around the world have used the exercises collected by Hanon to train their fingers, but not all pianists are convinced that these exercises are actually beneficial to students because the piano technique has evolved over time, and right now many pianists try to find a more natural way to approach the keyboard and avoid injuries at the arm and hand. We must also remember that even the instrument in itself evolved over time, and the pianos we use today are very different from the pianos in Hanon's time. Some of the pianists think these exercises are absolutely necessary to a good technique. What is the truth? Should Hanon's exercises be forever forgotten because they are old, or can we still use them maybe while applying a modern approach to piano playing? Hanon had used a simple trick to sell his book to almost every student in the world since 1872. While I was doing my research for this video, I was fascinated about the fact that one simple trick can achieve that much. And now let's dive right away into some historical facts, and then I will show you 4 simple ways you can practice these exercises, but also any type of sequences of fast notes at the piano. Charles Hanon was a French organist. He wrote and published some pedagogical works and taught piano privately. In 1867, Hanon had already been recognized by the Pope for a method for accompanying playing chant on the organ. He had been named as an honorary member of the Academy of Santa Cecilia in Rome, which was a great honor at that time. Right after, in 1872, Hanon published the Virtuoso Pianist, which was supposed to be part of a method for piano. This same book had received a silver medal at the World Exhibition in Paris. He surely used his influence and fame at that time to place this exercise book into the famous Conservatoire in Paris. If we look into other exercise books existing in that period, it becomes clear that Hanon's exercises are, on the one hand, very similar to many other piano exercise books that were used in France and Germany at that time, and on the other hand, they are much easier for the average piano student. Hanon did not reinvent the wheel, but adapted some of the exercises and found his own way to make them unique in their consistency. For example, if we look at this exercise in Schmidt's exercise book, published in 1820, you can see how Hanon's first exercise had been used as a way to train students since quite a while. Today, this would probably be a copyright issue, or maybe not sure about it, but at the end, it is just an exercise. I will link a Schmidt exercise book in the description below if you're curious and want to try some of his exercises as well. But what are the components that made these particular exercises so popular then? I will list here my 3 main assumptions. Number 1, they are very simple. They do not require the students to engage too much mentally, but are very simple to learn and require repetition. Repetition is what usually students miss in their practice. Hanon was very skilled at selling and promoting his content. Like a YouTube creator today, he addressed a need of his audience at that time. And then we have the name. I still remember when I was 10 years old and I was told to buy the Virtuoso Pianist. Because of the title, I imagined that this book would help me become a virtuoso one day. And obviously, I thought that the more I practice these exercises, the better I will play. Liszt, Brahms, Tausig, Behringer have all published exercise books. They were virtuoso pianists themselves. However, they called the exercise books simply piano exercises. Now let's imagine for a moment that you have this thumbnail on YouTube and then this. Which one would you prefer? I bet you would click on how to become a virtuoso pianist rather than on a simple piano exercises. Now, should we use these exercises? Exercises are exercises. As long as you practice, you could even invent your own set of exercises and then work on speed and repetition while paying attention to how you move your fingers and by setting a realistic goal about what you want to achieve. So the next part of the video will explain to you 4 different ways you can practice the first part of Hanon's exercises or any type of exercise or sections of pieces which are based on sequences of fast notes. And that besides speeding up the exercises or these sections with the metronome. The first way you can practice these exercises is by stretching your fingers. We can imagine this as being a sort of yoga exercise for finger. We stretch up very slowly, we go down, touch the key and play. And place the weight on your fingers. Then you stretch up the other finger, the next finger. Then you place the finger on the key and you move on the second key. And the weight of your arm is on the second finger now. Stretch up, touch the key, move the weight. Stretch up, touch the key, move the weight of your arm. Stretch up, touch the key, move the weight of your arm. Stretch up, stretch, touch, play. Stretch, touch, play. Stretch, touch, play. Stretch, touch, play. And so on. I use this especially when my students tend to keep their fingers on all the keys at all times while playing 16 notes, which is not really cool. So I remind them to really kind of go up and move the fingers and walk to the next key. And touch, play, stretch, touch, play. And obviously you cannot do that fast, you have to practice that slow. Stretch, touch, play. The second way you can practice sequences of 16 notes is by playing staccato with the fingers. And so on. So you basically pluck the key like you would pluck a string. Touch the key, pluck. Touch the key, pluck. And then the third way that you can practice this exercise is really kind of playing staccato with the wrist. I'm doing kind of this kind of movement. Maybe by increasing the speed with the metronome as well, and so on. And then obviously the fourth way is to practice these sequences with the rhythmic variation. Variation number 1 is a dotted 8th note followed by a 16th note. And so on. So you can practice this with the metronome and increase the speed of the variations. Now the second variation is the opposite. So we have 16 notes at the beginning and a dotted 8th note after. And so on. Now, the third variation will play together, we'll let you play together 2 16 notes followed by 2 8 notes. And so on. The fourth variation will have 1 8 note, 2 16 notes followed by 8 note. And so on. The next variation will have 2 8 notes followed by 2 16 notes. Now, the last two variations that I will show you today will group together all 4 notes, and you will stop on the first one or on the last one. So we will have a triplet at the beginning followed by an 8 note, a triplet of 16 notes followed by 8 notes, or 8 notes followed by a triplet with 16 notes. And so on, and the second one will be. I hope you will enjoy practicing, and I hope you will watch the next video. Bye!